I'm still trying to find the right words. I got so emotional. The memory I could think of was my dad. Because my dad just loved the Pope and what he taught us. But the Pope himself, I felt so, I'm light. I'm not heavy. I don't have the world here anymore. It's gone. Because his kindness, and he's so gentle. And he smiled at you with love. I felt it. I was standing right next to him. And he just touched my arm. I'll never forget. I will never, ever, ever forget the greatest weight of my life was coming down, making my dad, my mom promise. I remember how much they loved the church, and I have come back too. I belong there now.
What was the weight that you carried in beforehand? What was that weight?
The guilt, because my sisters, my little baby 3-year-old sister was I did not protect my sister. I didn't know that happened. A 3-year-old child, and we didn't know. She didn't tell us because they threatened both my other sisters, and then they would put my dad to jail. So it's just, but we learned to forgive. And so my sisters and I, because why should we carry that burden that they put on us? And we felt guilty. Why are we feeling guilty? We were innocent. We were just children. I was only 8 years old, and I still always remember, no matter what, I can forgive, but I'll never forget. And to protect our children today, let's find our children home. That's more important than anything else, is bringing our children home. On my graves, anybody have an identity, we want them to find. I know we know it won't be easy, but you know what? We owe them. So many of us helped us survive, because those children are the ones that we're standing today. And I will never forget, those children have the right, at least to have a name, to have an identity. It's heartbreaking, but we know that he did say, when I asked him, we want our children. And he said, we will work with you, because I asked him to work with us, and also our government. But I have more faith in him, though.
Well, you can't, there's a reason why we came, and we can't lose sight of that reason. And our elder here, Angie, said it really, really well, and she's a hard act to follow. But her words are true and resonate still today. And we have to continue to do the hard work. And I don't know if it's an expectation of our community, but it's also something that's near and dear to us, because we love our community. We're from the Métis Nation of Alberta. We love our relatives, our friends, our community, our leadership, everything that makes us who we are as Métis people. And we have tough issues, and this is one of them. But we're going to work together on this. And we did hear that commitment from the Holy Father, saying that he will work with us.
Yes.
And it's he said and he acknowledged that it's going to be truth, justice, healing, and reconciliation. And he said it in clear English. We all understood that. I looked around on the where we were sitting, and I could see the nodding of heads, the smiles, the relief. But I think when we get back home, we'll have more work to do than we'll ever know. And we also need to, if he is coming to Canada, I think we need to be part of the planning, especially for the Métis, on how this will look like. And we need to be there every step of the way in the planning. So from our elders to our youth, to everything. But I think overall the meeting, it's a chance of a lifetime. And I'm really happy to know that our survivors here, I've heard, this is the second time I heard that this is a place, I don't know how much further you can bring something within us and leave it here and to go forward with healing now. And that's what it's about. I mean, we know the stories. I don't need to repeat those stories here. They were horrific. And we've been talking about this since we've got here. But now, let's talk about going forward and what we're all trying to do and what we need to do. Not only as Indigenous people, not only as Métis people, but all people. And we need to show the world togetherness. Maybe that's a dream, but I know we can do togetherness back home. It is possible.
Gary, do you have any message for your friends and family in Edmonton? And then afterwards I'll ask Angie the last question. Do you have any message for your friends and family in Grand Prairie? But Gary, to start. And then...
Well, my message is I love my family. I was born into a Métis family, and I can't change that. And I think, the God above, He made that possible. And I'm not going to say anything other than to recognize that, yeah, I'm Indigenous. I love my family. I love my ancestors. I love our stories. Some of them are hard to tell, but I think just back home, I love you guys, and I'll be home soon. And we'll have new stories to create, and there's going to be new stories to honor, and there's going to be new stories that are going to take shape. And I know, and I think Angie, our elder, is right. They're going to be positive, because if we say negative, then that's what we're going to get. But we have to be positive about this. It's not perfect, but it's a great, great start. And I just really felt the Holy Father was very sincere. I felt that he was also very attentive when our people are speaking. He made sure he maintained eye contact, and I really felt he was very genuine. And I know he inherited this. It wasn't under his watch that a lot of this has happened. He inherited the past. And I'm glad we recognize the past. And we just need to recognize going forward that we can correct some of this as much as we can. So our people can finally just stop telling the story in some ways, but just tell new ones. Talk about healing. And we're gonna try and get there. This is what it's about. This is a healing trip.
So, for me as a Métis Nation president, all my life, I've heard the history of Métis. I've heard from many people, the horrors, the disasters, the things that happen to different people. And for me, coming today to support our elder and our delegation is one step forward in the right direction. And I know, watching Angie, she's a very strong woman. And she's been able to get past that and still believe in her faith, still believe that there is an opportunity to change for the better. And that's amazing. And when I saw them go in to the meeting with the Holy Father and then come out with smiles on their face, I do believe that's one great step forward for all of us as Métis people. And that's what Angie has taught me. You have to take it one step at a time. And for some of us that have heard many stories, I truly believe that too. It's going to take more work yet, but we are going in the right direction this time. And that's what's really important, I think, for us. as Métis Nation. And I had the opportunity to sit in on the media this afternoon. And I know we have some young people, like our young national president, our young council member from Ontario, that are amazing people that are there to continue bringing us in that right direction. And it may be slow, but at least we're going in the right direction this time. So that's what this means to me, is the opportunity to really change the focus of always living in the past, always thinking about the past. Angie has taught us all. And so, and just like Emil and Anne, the other elders that were there to tell their stories, they've taught us, you need to believe that things will change, and it can happen. And I believe that's where we're at now. So for me, I'm very, very honored to be asked by Angie to come as a supporter.
My home, Grand Prairie, my heart. From my mayor, I have many friends there. As a matter of fact, when I moved into Grand Prairie in 1966, I was lost, lonely, didn't know nobody, just got newly divorced, and I had 8 kids. And I went to Grand Prairie, and I was so scared. But something happened in Yellowknife that we had to leave. I had to save my kids. So, and then I ran into the right people, and they helped me. I was holding my head down, not speaking to yes, no, yes, no. And then they start slowly getting, it took about 45 years to come back. Everything I went through Grand Prairie, all the different, that I went to all the meetings. I was a volunteer for 43 years there, and I got to know and love the people. They cared for me. That's the first time I ever felt love, when I went home with the people that I met there, because it's bad in Yellowknife then, and we had to leave. And it's something I will never forget. The best thing I ever met was going to Yellowknife, Grand Prairie, because that's where I met my second husband. And he married all my kids, paid for my divorce. He loved us for who we were. And I'm telling you that without him and the people that we met, I was never alone anymore. I wasn't alone. I wasn't just childhood or ignored, or, and they just accepted us for who we were. It took me a long lesson to trust. And Grand Prairie, I love, they saved my life, my husband, and all the families. He had a large family too, and they were wonderful. I always loved them. And the best friends, Marge Mueller, I've met her since she was in Fort Smith, and I met her. I knew someone anyways there, so that really helped. She was Native Counseling. And then Shannon, another one, she's our Métis Vice President, open lady, open heart, helps everybody, and she's always worrying about me. I'm okay, I love you. But Grand Prairie, and from our MLA is our friend, is with us, and that's the only one I really, really care for as a conservative. He's very, very, very kind to us. And our mayors, our MLAs, I know them very well, and you know what? They even know my name. And they show nothing but respect, and I love them all. They're very good people, and I'm not afraid to talk to him. It's like I'm talking to you right now. I can't believe I'm doing this, but but it's wonderful. When you run into people or a home, this is our home now. My family, my 11 children, they love it. Well, 10 natural, And we have adopted our boy, but I don't like saying adopted because he's ours. So 11 and 28 grandchildren. And yesterday I had another great grandchild, was a number 11, great granddaughter. And so my daughter's here with me, and she come with me, and her baby was being born while she was here. And our president here too. You know, I'm so lucky that I have that woman. I got my identity through my president. I'm a human being. I'm a Métis Nation. I belong. I have an identity. They always told me I'd never be nobody because I was a half-breed. Nobody cared us. Nobody wanted us. Yeah? Well, I got news for you. We are here. And I appreciate it.